So I don't know how to make this video without sounding like A, I'm bragging, because I'm definitely not bragging, or B, I'm giving like a pity story. I don't really, I don't know. I'm just gonna, okay. I feel like if I explain what the past like 10 to 15 years were like for me, that someone who was where I was might have a reason just to keep trying to keep trucking, if you will. Okay, let me explain. I'm not gonna go over too much of my childhood and teenage years. That's a whole fucking other video. Long story short, mom, dad did not have a happy relationship. Parents got separated when I was 12, divorced when I was 18. Mom moved with an abusive asshole. I was shipped around a lot. Mom goes to finally lives on her own. Okay, at like 50, she ended up getting her own place for the first time ever in her life. Remember, she was a woman of the 60s where you got married at 18, and that's pretty much what happened. So it's the first time she had to pay her own bills and had to manage money and all that fun stuff. So we live in like a beat ass trailer, like from 1970 that I almost caught on fire. That's another story. Um, and my mom's really depressed, and I'm really depressed. So I'm automatically assuming my mom's going to kill herself. So I spent junior and senior year, every time I came home, my mom's car was there expecting to find her. For some reason, hanging in the closet. For some reason, hanging in the closet was her method of suicide to me. Because that keeps you. I was a pretty fucked up person. I still have some fucked up tendencies, but I've gotten a little bit of help. I still could probably use some more, but I feel like you should take your own mental illness into your own hands. Again, that's being more of the story here. So I was really depressed from like age 10 to like 21. At 21, I had like no friends. I had no friends, like no boyfriend, no nothing at this point. Like fucking confused as hell. I had no idea about my sexuality. I had no idea about anything. I worked at a place called Hot Topic. If you don't know what that is. And it was when they first opened, and it was actually a really fun place to work at this time. I met some of my best friends, some people that I still consider my best friends. I met from that place. And I met gay people for the first time. That wasn't I only knew one other gay person, which was my aunt, and she was not a good example. She was a drug addict. She was abusive. She was violent. She like got drunk, like she hit like 10 people, like she's gotten into like 10 car accidents where she always left, like she hit some guy on a motorcycle, like she did everything I did not want to be. And because my mom is very old-fashioned, she assumes every gay person is the same person. So like when I told her I was gay, that's the first thing she said, and I was like, nothing like Aunt Judy, rest her soul. Aunt Judy was my favorite aunt until I was like 13, and I realized that she was an abusive drug addict. Sorry. I sort of feel even horrible saying this because she's dead, but so like rest in peace, Aunt Judy, wherever you, God, that was horrible. Rest in peace, Aunt Judy, wherever you are. Point being, she wasn't the best person, so of course I was already trying to fight this I like girls as well as boy thing. And I actually met gay people for the first time, and I was able to come out as bisexual and eventually come out as I have no idea, because that's where my sexuality is I have no idea. But that's again a part of it. There's a lot of little parts to the story that I'm trying to skip over for another video, honestly, because I'm not sitting here for 3 hours. Okay, so anyway, so I was really worried about my mom being suicidal. Things got a little bit better. At 21, I pretty much was like, I'm going to kill myself. And literally on my 21st birthday, I was like, I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to get help. During this period of time, I met the people at Hot Topic, and I met some friends, and I met people who were like me, who were weird, and all this. I met some amazing fucking people that I'm still fucking friends with. It's the best job I've ever had. Company, not so much, but the people were amazing. Anyway, so I was comfortable, a little more comfortable with myself. And at 21, I decided to go and get therapy. And that's the most mental illness. You don't get diagnosed properly. You don't. Because it's a crapshoot. It really is. You talk to someone, and if you have a good doctor, they're going to keep talking to you and give you medication, trying to figure out what's wrong with you. And sometimes they figure it out, and sometimes don't. The first 2 doctors I went to, no idea what the fuck they were doing, for the most part. One girl I went to like 2 times, and because I was in my really super gothy phase, where I wear lots of black and lots of skulls and stuff, which I semi do now. I'm a little brighter now. I was gonna say lots of color. She asked me if I wanted to die because I wear skulls, and I was just like, I'm 21 and I go to goth clubs, like, so that was like the one that, the other one sort of helped. He gave me antidepressants and no anxiety medication, even though I have massive anxiety to the point that I probably wouldn't leave my house if it wasn't for the fact that I take medication. Like, and that's just the reality of it. I don't like going places. I'm not a party person unless I'm super fucked up. And since those days are pretty much over, I don't really go to parties unless I really know the person. So he gave me Effexor. I took it off and on. So from 21 to 28, I was, well, 21 to 27, I was still up and down all the time. Really fucking depressed. That's when I started getting into drugs, like real heavy. So pretty much I was an addict and depressed both till 27. 27 I moved to PA with my best friend, and it was a horrible experience. It was something I had to go through. I was super homesick. I ended up fighting with my best friend because my best friend and my boyfriend, and me alone because I was alone. I had like 2 girlfriends in my life, and 2 partners. Actually, I had 2 girlfriends and like 1 boyfriend, I think. And I slept with a few people. Like, I did not have a very huge dating experience at this point because I was awkward as fuck, and I still am. So at 27, I went to a new doctor and I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder because I was really depressed. I was living with my best friend at the time and her boyfriend, and I got super depressed because I felt like the third wheel constantly, and we weren't getting along because you learn a lot. I mean, I love her to death. She's still one of my best friends. You learn a lot about somebody when you live with them. We just did not have the same kind of mentalities of life, I guess. So I was super depressed, and I used to like drive to parking lots and write because I didn't know what else to do with myself. I didn't want to be home, and I would like binge eat and do all these do tons of drugs, smoke like a blunt to the head the minute I got home from work, like constantly high. I was constantly high the whole fucking time. Thank God for fucking Westchester, which is like a college town because you can find pot and lots of things, but mostly pot. Anyway, so I went to a therapist because I was really depressed again, and I got diagnosed bipolar, and my exact reaction was "fuck you." Like that was my exact reaction. It wasn't, I didn't think about it. I wasn't trying to be edgy. I wasn't trying to be cool. That was my exact reaction. I was like, "Fuck you! I'm not bipolar," because to me, bipolar is fucking crazy. And I was like, "There's no way." But even though I knew I was crazy, like I use crazy. Like, don't get offended, people who have mental illness. I use crazy. To me, is not a bad word. It's not offensive to me. It's who I am. I'm fucking crazy, but I am able to maintain, if you will. So like, I don't see this as a derogatory term. If it offends you, like, I'm sorry, but I'm never gonna trigger warnings in my video, so sorry. Anyway, so I got diagnosed bipolar. I got put on medication for bipolar, and I got put on Ativan first. Ativan, then Klonopin. And Klonopin saved my life. Klonopin is why I leave the house. It's just reality. If you can call me a drug addict, you can tell me I'm dependent on it. I really don't care. Klonopin helps me calm down enough to where I can walk, talk, and talk to people. Because before Klonopin, I would talk like this, and my voice would shake, and I constantly would be pouring sweat. And I still get that, but I've learned to work through this. It's not as bad as it used to be. When I first started working in retail when I was like 16, I basically was constantly shaking and constantly pouring sweat to the point that everybody's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Which, by the way, is the worst thing to do with anything to anybody with anxiety. It's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Leave me alone!" Like the fuck. So I was constantly pouring sweat, and I learned to sort of like fake it kind of thing. Now with Klonopin, for the most part, I don't pour sweat. I can talk to people. I can actually be in a camera and not freak out, which is so ironic. I'm actually really good at retail because I guess I've worked it so long. My doctor pretty much said because I've worked it so long, I'm an actor. So I'm like, I can believe that because I told people before I had anxiety, and they're like, "No, you don't." And I'm like, you can come in here for a second and see what real life is, but okay. So anyway, that actually made a big difference. So if you're depressed and you've been to a doctor and you feel like it's still not, you're still fucking depressed and it hasn't worked, keep fucking trying. You keep trying because my doctor, that psychiatrist that I had in Westchester, and the actual, like, there's like one's the pill doctor, one's the regular doctor. I still go to like the pill doctor, which his name is Dr. Dorfman, and he's amazing. And so the other one I stopped going to when I moved to PA because I wasn't driving 3 hours to go to a talkie doctor to be depressed pretty much. But she got diagnosed me on the fucking spot. So she was amazing at her job. She's a very chill person. She was able to like calm me down. And as you see, I don't calm down a lot. So point being, I got diagnosed bipolar 27. From 27 to 29, I lived in PA in a bunch of places. I was homeless for a little bit. I lived in Kent Square. I lived in Westchester. I lived in Reading. I lived in, that was pretty much the main places I lived. Reading, I lived there for the last end of it. While I lived in Reading, I became friends with two people when I lived in Pennsylvania, and they're both heroin addicts. One got clean, one did not. Of course, I hung out with a not clean one. Now, nobody forced me to do heroin. I partied my ass off from 21 on. I was constantly doing, actually before that, like when I was in high school, it was all about like no-dose and sleeping pills and all that kind of stuff. Like if your kid's into that, they're going to be a drug addict. So you might want to nip that in the bud right now. If they're taking sleeping pills every day and no-dose, nip that shit because that's not normal behavior usually. I'm still sad, mildly addicted to caffeine, but I'm actually trying to cut back on that. But that's again another fucking video. Anyway, so I knew this was eventually going to happen. I always told people that I was eventually going to do heroin. I just didn't think it was going to happen the way it did, like when it ended up happening, kind of thing. I always said I was just going to snort it, I was never going to shoot it, even though I used to always play with pens and act like I was going to shoot it. Anyway, point being, that's when I got into heroin because I did it with Raw. Me and Raw did heroin. We went to North Philly. We almost got arrested. It was another story for the story list here. That's honestly, I always said that I wanted to live a life where I had a lot of stories, and that happens. I have lived this life that I had a lot of stories. Okay, so anyway, come to heroin, moved from Pennsylvania back to my mom's house because A, I really miss my mom, and B, I had to get the fuck out of Reading, Pennsylvania because there was nothing good there. During this time, my best friend, Melissa, who was like my best friend from 16 to years ago, was also doing heroin. Like, we started together without actually telling each other because apparently we're without alike. It's just true. She just has a lot more bad tendencies than I am. Like, I won't fuck anybody over, and she doesn't have too much of a problem doing that, so that's why we're not friends anymore. We were friends for a very, very long time. So point being, I went back to New Jersey, and what's the first thing I do? Hang out with Melissa. What's the first thing I find out? She's doing heroin. Jackpot, motherfucker. So the first day I snorted with her, and the second time I shot it. That's how fast it happens. Because it is a good high. It's not a shitty high. That's why people are addicted to it. It will ruin your life. It'll make you be a person you never thought you would be, and it would affect you for the rest of your life, but it doesn't feel like shit. Like, people want to be killing people for it. We're going to slide over that part because that's, again, another video. So basically, I was a heroin addict when I met Shannon. So at this point, I am a depressed, semi-suicidal, passive-aggressively killing themselves, living with mommy and daddy, driving a 1989 car, which would be mommy, not daddy, driving a 1989 car, having a shitty job in the mall that I hate and I'm horrible at. Like, I was the worst manager ever at the store because I was so fucked up. I was still working. Like, I was not going to not work and have money for my dope, but I was a horrible manager. Like, that job makes me cringe. I am not friends with, like, pretty much anybody I worked there besides the fact that I hired people that I was friends with. That place embarrasses the fuck out of me. I'm friends with like 2 people. That place embarrasses me. I don't even like to talk about the fact that I worked at that place. It went out of business. That was the best thing that could have happened to me because I was eventually going to get fired because I was the worst manager ever. And I usually take pride in my job, but at that point, you don't have pride when you're in heroin. Like, please, I was just trying to like hurry up, get it done, the job, so I get my heroin. I usually bought it before I left the store. So, that was a great time. So anyway, so I meet Shannon during this time. And I met Shannon the most random time. It was 5 in the morning. I just got back from hanging out with Melissa. I was high as a fucking kite. So of course I wasn't sleeping because I wasn't wasting this fucking baggie. And I go on my computer. And I never check my email because nothing ever is connected to my email. So I randomly checked my email and I had a thing from OkCupid. And I had an OkCupid account for like 4 years. I'd never really met anybody interesting on there. I met like fuck buddies pretty much on there. So I go on there and basically have a thing that it shows if somebody gives your picture 5 stars, it shows you 3 pictures and you give them a rating. And if you give them also 5 stars, they will connect you. Well, because I'm, me, I gave everybody 5 stars, which probably fucked up a lot of people because they weren't 5 stars to me, but I wanted to know who gave me the 5 stars. Because if you don't give them 5 stars as well, they won't tell you who did it. And it's like, I want to talk. Well, it was her. And she was like, no one I ever saw before. Like, I was like, she was not my type whatsoever, and unfortunately, don't ever tell anybody that because it will fuck them up. Things you learn. I usually dated very girly girls. Not that I was ever the man in the situation, but I usually dated, this is my type for both sexes actually. Usually some kind of jail, some kind of illegal activity is involved in their life, be it doing drugs, selling drugs, being a mild thief, something like that is in their life. Violent, not towards me, but towards other people. They will kick your ass. So yeah, but girly. If they're girls, girly. If they're boys, thugs. But see, with boys, this is the fun. This is why I don't talk too much about my sexuality and don't get too involved. Like, I'm not gonna I have to make a whole video about it kind of thing. I call myself bisexual, but here's the thing: I don't date boys. I have sex with guys. Well, had sex with guys when I was single. As for girls I actually have relationships with. I still call myself bisexual because if I wasn't attracted to boys, then I mean I'm still attracted to guys, so of course I'm sort of bisexual. But it's weird because couldn't see myself in a relationship. But if it was where I wasn't with Shannon and I met somebody that had the same kind of mentality, like if I met Shannon in a boy costume, with a penis, then I would date that person. You know what I mean? So like that's where it is kind of. So that's why I guess I'm bisexual. Point being, all the girls I dated were girly. Shannon's not girly. Shannon likes boys t-shirts, boys shorts, boxers. That's what Shannon wears. Because Shannon's in a wheelchair, and honestly, it's more comfortable, and that's how she's comfortable. That's who she is. End of fucking story. So, of course, I told her that she wasn't my type, and I fucked her up on that. But that's, we ended up, as much as I tried to push her away because I was so fucked up at that point that I knew I was killing myself and I didn't want to involve anybody else. Like the few people I did talk to before I met her, the first thing I told them was I was on heroin. And they usually ran for the hills, as you should if someone you're starting to talk to tells you they're on heroin. She didn't run. I was like, okay, what the fuck is in my mouth? I'll just take a drink. Intermission. Yeah, so she didn't run. And I was like, okay. So we hung out and like we connected and we talked for hours and it was fucking great. That story. So I go to rehab and I'm a total dickhole because as I'm in rehab, I'm told that I can't talk to anybody that I did drugs with. And the other person I was like, well, I'm still gonna talk to Melissa because Melissa's my best friend. But I was like, because I just met Shannon, I'm just gonna not talk to her. And she was sending me letters every single day and I wouldn't read them because I felt like shit. But I couldn't figure out why I felt like shit. It was like everyone knew besides me. Like my brain knew what was going on, but it didn't want to let me know what was going on yet. So anyway, I go get out of rehab and I break up with Shannon via fucking Facebook Messenger because I'm a cock. I'm a fucking piece of shit. That's something like I will never live down, honestly. I still feel bad for her to this day. And she's like, she's over it, and I'm still like, so sorry. Point being, I fucked up. I did that. Within 24 hours, though, I was talking to her again. And she understandably got mad, and I deserved it. I deserved a lot worse than she gave me. She let me off very easily. I would have fucking flipped the shit on someone. And she just said, I knew this was going to happen and have a nice life. And I deserved way more than that. So within 24, 48 hours, I was talking to her again. And she was sort of just like, why are you talking to me? And I'm like, at the time, I didn't know why. But looking back, it's because basically I was in love with her. And I, for some reason, wouldn't let myself be in love with anyone because at the time I thought it was so fucked up. So, point being, I'm from 10 to 30 now. My life has not been that good. Shit has sucked. I've had good jobs. I've had some fun times. I got lots of fucking stories. But I haven't been, love did not exist. I had like a few partners, a few girlfriends, a lot of fuck buddies, because when you're a girl, you can pretty much fuck anybody. Like, really. But no true love. Nothing that I felt that was really true love. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had like 3 friends. I had a lot of adventure. And I don't regret any of those years because I had lots of adventure, but I was really fucking sad all the goddamn time. So 30 happens. And I get a rehab, break up with Shannon, but I still start talking to her. Within a week, I'm like, because of course I got a rehab and I didn't do that great. I got high really quick because I only stayed for 15 days. I still stayed for at least 30. And then probably after rehab, like you need like a year to get off drugs. And I was abusing my Ambien because I have Ambien for my bipolar disorder because I can't sleep sometimes because if you notice, I'm manic a lot. Anyway, so I took a lot of Ambien one night and I called her and I said, I'm going for a walk. You should come. And she lives, mind you, like 45 minutes away. And she's like, okay. When I said I was going for a walk. And she lives 45 minutes away. She's like, I'll come. And I was like, well, okay, but you live 45 minutes away. And she's like, I'll be there. She was there in 20 minutes. I was like, all right. So we go for a walk because it's fun to walk on Ambien, reality. And we're walking and she's telling me she's moved to California. And I couldn't breathe. I was just like, and I was like, like my brain like stopped for a second, like it blue screened, it just fucking stopped, and it had to like reboot. And I was like, but you can't leave. And she's like, why? And I was like, because just because we're not together now doesn't mean we're never going to be together. And like that's the day I knew. Like literally, I was like, because after that I went for a drive because that's how I think. And I went for a drive, and I literally was like, I love her, and I got fucking chills. And I was like, oh shit, Debbie, what the fuck you doing? So we ended up getting back together. I ended up moving down to Wildwood, New Jersey. I worked a few jobs. I started at a fucking Burger King because I was not going to let her pay all my bills. I started working at Burger King, worked at Wawa, worked at Sally's, getting some manager Sally's, made some money, blah, blah. And now I'm 36. I just turned 36. I've been married to Shannon for 7 years. They're the happiest 7 years I've ever experienced. This shit doesn't happen to people like me. And that's the whole point of this story, this whole 17-minute story. This doesn't happen to people. This was not something I believed in. I never believed in long-term relationships. I never believed in love. I didn't believe in any of this shit. And the fact that it happened to me, I'm like, did I die? Like, did I die and this is like heaven or something? But there's too much shit for this to be heaven, obviously. But like, this is not supposed to happen. So like, the whole point of the story is like, I went through hell to get to heaven. I went through fucking some shit and never thought my life would be anything but me working in the fucking mall and being alone. And I met my fellow freak. I met my united freak. I met my fellow freak. I mean, I have fucking tattoos all over my body for her. And I got really fucking lucky. And like the whole point of this whole entire fucking story is don't give up. Just don't give up. Don't stress about it. Don't try to force everybody to be this perfect person because there's not perfect people. I mean, we fight. Of course we fight. But we don't really fight. We pretty much get along. We have a few disagreements, but we pretty much get along. And just don't give up because seriously, like you don't know what that fucking corner is. Like you don't know what's gonna turn. I mean, my life has fucking gone like hasn't gone like a nice little square. It's gone like a fucking God knows a big fucking clusterfuck. Like that has been my life. But like now I'm 36 years old. I'm married to the fucking love of my life. I'm married to someone that makes me so fucking happy every day. Like I wake up and I just look at her and I'm like, God, I'm so fucking lucky. I'm married to someone who's just goddamn amazing. Like everyone, like, and I know everybody says that, but like she's fucking amazing. Like I can't believe the way she thinks. I can't believe the kind of person she is. But this is a whole other video. I'm not trying to get that too into it, I guess. But point being, don't give up. You don't know what's gonna happen. I'm on the verge of having a career I've always wanted. I'm a body piercer. I'm fighting through anxiety every day, but I'm fucking winning because I'm a body piercer, and you have to be confident to be a body piercer. And yeah, there's some days that I'm like shaky and still a little sweaty, but I'm confident every time I fucking pierce that person because you fake it till you fucking make it. And I faked it a lot, and I finally am able to be a piercer and be comfortable. And if I can do that with anxiety, so fucking can you. You can do a lot more than you think you can. Don't let any disorders fucking stop you. Don't let anything fucking stop you. Like this happened for a reason. I got really fucking lucky, and you don't know. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So if you just give up and fucking just do drugs social life and see what when you fucking die, you don't know what you're missing out on. I'm about to be a fucking tattoo artist. I did a tattoo today. I have one tomorrow. Like, and mind you, this is not, I don't plan tattooing to be some big, huge career. I'm not gonna be a fucking Kat Von D, but I get to do something I love. I get to be happy. I get to be my true self. And I get to fucking tattoo and pierce and work with my family. Her family owns the shop, so it's all family. I get to work with my mother, father-in-law, my stepsister, my sister-in-law, my maybe, brother-in-law right now, her boyfriend, and my wife and me, and it works. And I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe this even happened. So the whole fucking point, if you get any of my fucking ramblings or any of this nonsense, don't give up, because you have no idea what's going to happen. And get therapy. Go to a fucking doctor, and if you don't like those answers, keep fucking going till you find somebody who actually listens to you, because there's no reason to walk around for fucking 27 goddamn years fucking not wanting to leave your house and shaky and sweaty and just straight up uncomfortable, okay? I guess that's the point. All right. Bye, guys.